So, I'm going to walk you through how to build a learning menu. Learning menu and choice boards are very similar, and often the term is they can go hand in hand. However, I define a learning menu as kind of like a menu for a restaurant that you have appetizers and side dishes, entrees, things like that. But a learning menu could be a choice board, like a tic tac toe. It's just giving students options for their learning. Usually, in a digital learning menu, you have different sections and categories that contain a selection of activities that go along with various learning styles or their interests. So I have a example right here, and then I have a manual to go along with this. Now, this manual is for both choice boards and learning menus because they do have so many overlapping similarities. So if you go into the menu, you can learn more about learning menus, how to make one digital. So there's a lot of stuff in here on how to plan one. So it kind of breaks it down and different approaches to choice menus. So there's a lot of information in here. And then when you get to the side dishes within this manual, it gives you instructional tools to teach with based on different learning styles. So, reading and writing learners, auditory learners, visual learners, and kinesthetic learners. Not that one child is only in one of these categories, but just different ways to mix it up to kind of go along with each student. Now, while a lot of these are free, some of these are paid, which you would only be able to use the free version. Some of these we have as a district, like Brain Pop. Some of them we don't have access to. But Pear Deck, you would only be able to use the free Pear Deck version. So it's just things that are available out there. I tried to find ones that have a free version or ones we use here in our district. And this is also with formative assessment tools broken down into the different learning styles and authentic assessments. If you click on each one of these, you would be able to access information about that, or it will take you to the website. So each one of these gives you more information or the website. And then there are learning menu tutorials and learning menu templates, which we also have here in the assignment itself. And then finally, I have broken down digital tools by the Bloom's taxonomy. So if you're looking for a way for students to show that they remember something, here are some different digital ways for that or how to apply, etc. So that is the manual that goes along with this particular assignment. I also threw in the metacognition toolbox that I have. I put that in there because when I demonstrate building one of these, I use it and I want to give you access to it if it's something you want to include in a learning menu or in any of your projects for this class. So we're going to start off by selecting a learning goal, a topic, what what is this learning menu going to be teaching, or what is it going to be assessing of students' learning? So, once again, I'm going to do the 4th of July, something around the 4th of July, and I'm going to do the US Constitution this time. So, we have some different blueprints. So, this first one, you can take a look at it. This one actually comes from Nevada Ready 21, 21st century. So you put in your different choices into appetizer, entrees, side dish, and dessert. And they also have focus questions. So that's one template you could use. Another one, I thought this one's super cute. And they have the different starters and then main course and then reflective desserts and then chef specials and shares. And it kind of like actually gives you ideas of what you could do for each one of those. So that's another option. You could even take it down so you didn't have like 10 choices in each one. You could take it down to 3 or 4, but it gives you a lot of room to work with. Here is another one. This is also from NR21, Nevada Ready 21. And it just is a different layout. And then finally, the one I'm going to use in my example is this one. I just think it's so cute with the little emojis. So I'm going to click Use Template. And you would redesign your directions on how you want them to do this. For this, it gives you 3 choices for appetizer and side dish, 2 for entree, and 2 for dessert. But you can always, if you want, highlight that um, table and insert rows or columns, however you need to do it if you want more options, or you can always merge cells if you want less options. So totally up to you how many options. We're going to name the restaurant. So this is going to be the Constitution Restaurant. And we're going to put in some learning targets, so some I can statements. And I have another one ready. So, and there we go. And maybe we'll just make it format there. We got something going on here with our format. Pull that back over. Need to do that again. For some reason, it's outside the. All right. Next, we are going to do the appetizers. So, what I my idea is that they would learn first about the Constitution through the appetizers. They would do a formative assessment through the side dishes. They would show what they have learned through the entrees, and then there'd be a reflection in the desserts. Now, you can do this however you want. You could have them completely learn about it in the appetizers and side dishes or on the whole thing. And then just the desserts, a formative check. Um, you could have this as a review for a test, and all of the different options are just review and little assessments. You can design this however you want. This is how I've chosen and how I've done learning menus in the past. I've done it where it's a whole final project, where there's different parts of a final project that they're showing their understanding for the entire unit. So your learning menu can be however you want. This is just how I'm demonstrating it for this. So to learn about the Constitution, I'm going to have them, they could watch this brain pop on the US Constitution, and I'm going to put in the link here. And I could provide some directions such as watch this brain pop, something like that. We've got a little formatting issue going on. There we go. Let's actually make sure the whole thing gets formatted correctly. And then the next is this article from ABC Clio. ABC Clio is a huge social studies database that we have access to through the state. If you need the password to it, please email me. This is for Elko County School District students. They have login if they're using their Chromebook, so you don't need it. But if they're at home, they're going to need it. All right. Or they could read this article. And I'm going to put in that link. So I'm coming up here, I'm copying the URL, and then I'm going to paste it here. And then finally, I found this background builder from Discovery Education. And because this particular one does not have, well, actually, it does have an add content and a question. All right, so I need to assign it. And then I'll need to give them their Clever login, because in order for them to be able to complete this, they would need to log into Discovery Ed through Clever. That's how it works. The same with BrainPop. They would need to go to Clever, but usually they can get to BrainPop and it'll give them a Clever login choice. So right here, um, go to Discovery Ed. All right. And I'm going to get the Discovery Ed, or sorry, the Clever portal URL. I was just going and grabbing it. All right, so that will take them to the Clever portal for ECSD, and then they'd be able to go to Discovery Ed. All right, so they've learned about the Constitution through those different ways. They can choose watermelon, strawberry, or apple. And then they're going to do their side dish. One thing I really liked about this template is the waiter sign off. So the teacher initials at each stage of the or comes in and does a check. You know what I would probably would do? Instead of that, I would do these new check boxes that that they have. So I just come over as a teacher and click that little check. Um, you could do different ways. If you're doing it more remotely, you could highlight it and leave a little comment or emoji like check, and you could, and then you can, see that it's been checked off or leave a comment of your own. So different ways to do that, but I did like this little waiter sign off portion at each stage of their menu. So you come in as a teacher and put just your initials, something like that. But um I like the comment idea too. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked, because then you'd actually have your name if you went in like through Google Classroom and then commented, done, you know, and then your name would show up so they couldn't forge that. But you'd probably know if you signed off or not. But those are some different options. I just liked that they had to have that check each stage. Then we have the side dish. So for the side dish, I was thinking after they learned, time for a quick check, and there is a quiz from from Brain Pop. I could do the graded or reviewed, or I can just give them the option to choose. So if I do graded, then I'll come up here at the top and I'll copy that URL. I can also assign it through my teacher dashboard in BrainPop and just give them brainpop.com to go to, and then they'd have the assignments right there. Or I could give them a link to this, but have it assigned so when they finish it, I get their scores. That's probably a better option, but you can choose how you want to lay this out. And okay, so I'm going to start off, and this one, and option one is take the quiz. Oh, let me make sure I'm typing too fast. There we go. And put the link in to that BrainPop quiz, or I could just send them to brainpop.com if I've assigned it to them in BrainPop, or I can give them the direct link to the quiz. Next option I found was this Nearpod, which is a time to climb game. It's got questions, but it is a game that they play, and it's based on their time and things like that. So to assign this, I need to click teach, and it'll probably be student paced. We probably won't all be doing this together. So student paced, and there it is. Copy that link, and then I can put that onto my learning menu and play this game. And then finally, another Nearpod I found was this matching. So they match the different vocab words about the US Constitution. So I'm going to do this again, teach, student paste. And I'm going to copy that link. So I found all of these in our Nearpod library. You could make your own time to climb quiz. You can make your own matching. You can make your own activities in Nearpod. But those were some easy ways um, to get some formative assessments. All right, so they learn about it, little quick formative assessment check. Now I want them to show off what they've learned. So a couple ideas I had was they could go to Canva, and we have access to Canva through our Clever portal. All students have the premium access to Canva, so this is an option. They can create something. So I was thinking I pulled up a bunch of newspaper templates. They can choose which newspaper to create a newspaper article about the Constitution. So I'm going to copy the URL on our learning menu. I'm going to put create a newspaper about the Constitution. And I'm going to put the link here. Now, because this is a project, I would probably design a rubric for this and give them access to a rubric that this could take them to the rubric so they understand what needs to be in their newspaper. So just an option. Another option, I was going to use Book Creator, and they could create a book. That would be awesome. But one thing I was thinking is they could go into Book Creator, and it would be a one-page book, but that's okay. They can use the camera option to record a newscast. So either a paper newspaper or a newscast, or maybe a magazine here in Book Creator. So I'm just going to send them to the library that I've created for this project, and I've got the invite code, and I'm going to share that with them. So when they go here, they can create a newscast about it. And I'd want to also have a rubric. Now, the rubric could be the same for both the newspaper and the newscast, and I could insert a row below, merge this together, and then just put the rubric down here, and then they would know how they're going to be graded on these projects that they could choose from. There's tons of other options. You could have them do a podcast using Vocaroo. You could have them do social media posts in Canva. There is a ton. And if you need ideas, this choice board, Authentic Assessments, has a lot of different ideas. Um, Infographics, concept maps, just a ton of different ideas if you need some for those kind of activities. All right, and then finally at Exit Ticket, it is always good to have students reflect on their learning and practice those metacognition skills. And I have a metacognition toolbox if you want to use it. And I am going to use two that kind of go along with food. One is called Fresh Facts. And if you click on this, you can make a copy of this Google form where they reflect on their learning. And this particular one, they talk about what they have learned, and they give 3 new things, or sorry, 4 new things. So you could always take it down to 3, like I said, with deleting it, but they do 3 new or neat facts. Which one of those 4 facts they remember the most, which one they remember the least, and then they rate their learning. So to get this into my choice board, I come up here to send. I click on the link. You can even shorten it, not necessary, but it kind of makes it a little bit shorter. Copy that link, come back to our learning menu, and option 1 is Fresh Facts. And then another one that's kind of fun that kind of goes along with food is this Bites and Flavors. And they choose 3 bites of information that they have gathered, and then they rate the flavor of it. So 3 information. So a bite of information, and did you find that bite interesting, strange, or important? Another bite, and then they write their most interesting bite of information, their strangest, why, most important. And of course, you can always, delete part of this if that it's too much, or edit it however you want. Once again, I went up to send. I clicked the link. I shortened it if you want to, not necessary. I just like to shorten it, just cleans it up just a little bit. And then over here on our learning menu, I am going to give them another option. And this one's going to be bites and flavors. And they're going to go through, have the waiter sign off at each stage. And there is the learning menu for the US Constitution.